Hello lovelies, thank you for joining me in today's Timeless Pick a Card reading. So hope you're all doing really well today. In this reading, I'm calling in Archangel Raphael to channel some messages to help you. So typically Raphael is the healer angel or high dimension being, however you want to resonate with that. And Raphael helps with healing the emotions, healing the heart, all kinds of physical healing, spiritual healing. And also Raphael connects with any feelings connected to the heart, like love and joy and contentment and fulfillment and that sort of thing. So we will see what messages Archangel Raphael wants to bring through to you today to help you the most. Okay, my lovelies. So focus on the different options for the readings. Choose the one or more than one that you're most drawn to. Take the messages that resonate for you and leave anything that doesn't. Okay, and I'll see you in the readings. Hello Group 1. So I've chosen a few cards to start the reading off with this time, and I'm going to quickly go through them. We've got number 1, the Magician, Adult Children, 15, Flow, 4 of Clubs, Build a Building, the Crumbling, 24, the Heart, 35, Shouting, and 12, the Flies buzz off. Okay, now I'm going to be honest with you, Group 1, there are a few challenging cards here, and what this is connecting to is your past. For maybe one or two of you, some of this, of what I'm about to say, might connect with you still in the present. So what I'm going to do is describe a scenario that you can see if this resonates with you from your past or recent present. And then I will channel through messages from Archangel Raphael to help you. Okay. So I can see that you've had a difficult childhood for sure. You were brought up in a dysfunctional family. One or both of your parents either had some kind of personality disorder or maybe addictive tendencies or a temper, or maybe controlling behavior. They had some kind of manifestation of their own problems from their own past that they haven't dealt with, and then that was projected onto you when you were growing up. I feel that for some of you, you might have been made to feel as if you were the parent and you had to take care of your parents or one of your parents. You were the mother or the father to them, and maybe they didn't treat you as the child, the son or the daughter. Maybe they treated you as the parent or the friend or even as a therapist, where they dumped all of their problems on you. For some of you, I feel that you might have been around someone who has had problems with controlling their emotions or their temper or impulsive behavior or addictions, that kind of thing. So they might have been quite volatile at times or unpredictable, or maybe they went through a lot of money and there wasn't a lot of money to be had when you were a child, or maybe they became quite aggressive or abusive in some way. For some of you, I think that you might have been very controlled with one or both parents who were strict or domineering or, very controlling or very fear-provoking. Maybe they had a lot of fear that they were trying to project onto you. So some of you might relate with one of these, some of you might relate with two or all three of the scenarios that I've just mentioned there. So take what resonates for you. But I feel as though you have had, you've had a difficult time, Group 1. As you've become an adult, you have discovered that you've had a lot of challenges to face. You've attracted a lot of difficult circumstances, and that's been because of the negative seeds that were planted in your mind when you were growing up from this behavior that you had to witness. As far as you were concerned as a child, what was going on in front of you and around you, that would have been quite normal for you. And so when you've encountered situations like that as you've got older, you might not have noticed the red flags that were waving in your face, warning you away from these situations or people. And it might have continued that you've had one challenge after another, one difficult circumstance after another, one toxic relationship after another. It feels like it's been a snowball effect where it's been ongoing, and it's been hard for you to break out of this pattern. So Archangel Raphael is just stepping forward now. It's making me smile, the energy coming through, and just to bring in some messages for you. So what Raphael is saying to me, showing me these two cards here, where I've got this sense of your foundation, okay? So with the upbringing that you've had, you haven't had a very stable foundation to build yourself upon or your life upon. So you might find it difficult to remain emotionally stable or mentally stable or even physically stable. And that's because of what's happened to you. You haven't had good role models, and you haven't had a good situation, healthy situations to see how things could be. So it's been really hard for you to build anything stable in your life, whether that has been in the physical realm or not. I do get the impression for quite a few of you that this does relate to things. Yes, Archangel Raphael is saying yes. This relates to your life in the physical realm. So it might be that you've had unstable living conditions as you've grown up, where you've moved from place to place and you haven't had good living environments. So that could either be the place that you've lived in wasn't up to scratch, or the people you've lived with haven't been healthy for you, or even the environment, something to do with your living arrangements has not been good for you. And Archangel Raphael saying that has had like a double impact on you, because of what you've been through has left these scars in your energy. That has then been reflected into your outer environment, and that's what you've attracted more of. So it's like you get caught in this cycle that you haven't been able to release yourself from, and it's been hard for you to get yourself into a healthy living situation. But Archangel Raphael is saying that it's not always going to be that way, okay? There is a lot that you hold within your heart. We've got the heart card here, and this is what Archangel Raphael connects with. So that is wonderful confirmation that has come up in the reading for you, Group 1. And Archangel Raphael is saying that they are pouring all this love and light and healing energy into your heart to crack open all the heaviness in there, all the sadness and the disappointment and the letdown and the betrayal and the hurt, all of it, all of everything that you felt when you were growing up. Raphael is pouring this healing, light-filled elixir onto your heart to help you to break through the heaviness and rigidness of all of that, so that you can crack yourself open. Because that's really what needs to do, is for you to crack yourself open. I feel as if you've developed this hard shell around your heart as a protection measurement for yourself, to keep people out that are going to hurt you. But in doing that, Group 1, you are keeping everybody out, you're keeping everybody at arm's length. And Raphael wants to help you to open up again, to let people in, to not be afraid to let people in, to not be afraid to trust people, because Raphael is saying the past is in the past now, and you can choose to leave that behind you and not to carry it with you anymore, because it is time for you to start building a strong foundation for yourself. Can you see in this card here, the crumbling? See there, there's this ray of light, this beam of light coming into the top. I feel that that's what's coming in for you, Group 1. You've got this energy coming into your heart, this elixir that Raphael is pouring upon you. Because at the moment, you've got a lot of emotions from the past still in your energy that you have maybe not wanted to feel because they've been too heavy, or, they've just been too much, too overwhelming, too awful. And maybe some of you shut yourselves down when you were younger because you didn't want to feel all of that. And that's quite understandable. But Raphael is saying it is time to open yourself up. This is this card here. It's time to crack yourself open, Group 1, because if you want to build this stable foundation for yourself and create a better living situation for yourself, whether that be where you live, the place that you live in, who you live, the environment you're in, anything like that, Raphael says that needs to come from inside of you first of all. So you need to have that desire, that will, that intention to want for that, to do that, to want to open yourself up again. You see on this shouting card here, I feel like this is what needs to happen. It's like, this hard shell is around you as this means for protection. And again, we've got this confirmation here that Raphael is saying, break it open. Now, for some of you, different things will work for each of you. For some of you, you might be very drawn to working with the light energy and light codes. For some of you, you might be very drawn to sound and healing frequencies. And for some of you, you might want to engage in some kind of emotional energy routine, ritual, discipline, something like that, But for some of you, I'm also getting, you might be really drawn to doing creative work, when that's a great way to open up the emotional center and let the emotions flow out and channel your emotions into what you're doing. But for all of you, there is this need to find a way to help yourself to break free of this hard shell that you've put around yourself. This card here with the flies as well. For some of you, I feel this relates to the mind energy, where you have a lot of unhelpful thoughts buzzing around. And Raphael is saying for some of you, meditation is going to work wonders. You might have been having a go at that recently, or even for a while, and not felt as though you're getting anywhere. But Raphael is saying you can't see the progress that you're making. You might not be able to see it at all, Group 1, but you are making progress. So please stick with it. Okay. Please don't stop what you're doing, because this is going to be one step at a time for each of you. You need to find a way to become aware of this level of protection that you've put around yourself, so that you can see it for what it is, and that you can understand that it's shutting out positive things, positive experiences, positive people. It's closing all of that out. It might be protecting you from what you perceive as a threat, but it's protecting you from everything else that's coming in. So it's really difficult for the good things to get close to you. And Raphael is saying that it's almost as if those good things are bouncing off you. But Raphael is just making me aware some of you have already actually started on this process. and being shown that there are cracks in your armor and you've been letting in the light. And some of you have been making some headway recently and you've been able to move on from the past. You've been letting things flow out of you. And Archangel Raphael is saying now that you have started that process and the cracks are there and the light is coming in. It will then get easier and easier because now you've allowed the light to penetrate your heart. You're starting to see or feel or be aware of the difference that that is making. And it will have this this snowball effect where once you start, it will then become more and more and more, and the effect will grow and grow and grow. But you're not going to see that effect start on that. Okay. Now, another thing that I'm being very drawn to in this reading is the blue colours. Got blue, 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 and blue. Oh, and there's even blue there. So this blue energy here, I mean, this is the darker blue, which relates to the third eye, the sixth chakra, which I feel for some of you is either quite closed down or blocked or even damaged in some way. And when the sixth sense of the third eye chakra gets affected in that way, it can make it feel like there's a lot of fear in our lives. We see a lot of fear everywhere. And I feel that it's that fear that has caused this protection to go around you, because you are afraid of opening up to anything new now, and as I say, group one, that is completely understandable with what you've been through. So Archangel Raphael is just saying, can you do something to work on your sixth chakra, your third eye chakra? Can you do something to work on it, to clear it, to cleanse it, to balance it and align it, to open it up? There are various ways that you can do this, group one. There are certain crystals that you can use. There are flower essences. You can use sound therapy. You can work with colours. You can use visualization, bringing in the light. There are a lot of different methods that you can use. But Raphael is saying that there is some kind of a blockage here that needs to be worked on first, to help you to be aware of the fear, the deep-rooted fear that you've developed, that is the cause of this armor around your heart. Because once you become aware of it and you see the fear and you see the protection, it will then become a lot easier to work on it and release it. Once you put your awareness, your focus onto something, it starts to lose its power over you. And that is the key here for you, group one. Okay. So let me see if Archangel Raphael wants to say anything else. Okay. Yeah, I'm getting the message that there is a positive turnaround coming for you, but it's going to take some work on your part to bring that in. Okay. It is this need to be opened up and not to be afraid. So I'm also getting this message that your sacral chakra also needs some healing and realigning and cleansing and unblocking. Okay. So for those of you that relate with the creative side, this is a great way to help with that. But I've mentioned a few other methods that you can use to heal and help yourself. But do what resonates with you, group one. Do go with what you're drawn to, because each of you will be drawn to different things. So have a think about it. Because the sacral chakra is the colour orange. That relates to the sacral chakra. So that is the energy. Think about how you feel about the colour orange. Are you repulsed by it, or do you absolutely love it? Because anything that is an extreme, it shows you that chakra is out of balance and it needs bringing into balance. I think, let me get this right. So if you're repulsed by the colour orange, that it may be an over-enlarged or over, it's like being used too much. But if you really adore the colour orange, and it's like you need that colour to help you to balance and heal and enlarge, to make it become bigger. Okay, because it might be quite shrunken at the moment. So for some of you, if the sacral chakra is quite blocked up, you might struggle with personal connections, or you might even struggle with addictions or unhealthy habits, things that you do that aren't really good for you when you do them too much, that sort of thing. And it could even relate to how you attach to things or people or places, all of those things, to do with emotions, attachments, connections with another person, desires, your wants and creativity. All of those things relate to the sacral chakra. So have a think about how you are, where you're at with those things in your life, and that will help you to see if you've got any imbalances in any of those areas. And I've already mentioned the third eye chakra. That's all to do with the how you see clearly if you're fearing what's coming, if you fear the future, if you're afraid of something to do with the future, fear of not having enough money, or afraid of what's happening, anything like that. And it also stops you from seeing clearly. If your third eye is affected, it can stop you from seeing things clearly. So you might find that there are a lot of illusions around you, a lot of things that you're believing in that aren't actually true. And that can relate to how you see yourself, how you see the world, how you see your past. It might be that you have a clouded vision on one or more of those areas, group one. Okay. But Raphael is coming in today to help you with this, to help you to break through your armor. Imagine that you've been in an egg for a long time, and now it's time to crack open the shell and let yourself out and to discover the new world, the new reality that is going to form around you. Okay, group one. I hope you found that useful. Before you go, I want to remind you, I've got a Psychic Expansion 12-week course coming up soon. There's information on my website. I have some downloads on my website as well. For some of them are free, some are e-courses, some are for channeled spiritual guidance and meditations. There's various things on there. Got a few places in the spiritual community membership group that I'm running if you're interested in connecting with like mind, like heart, souls. So thank you for listening, group one. I hope you liked the video. Hope you liked the reading. Let me know in the comments with a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed, please think about it. It will help me to grow. Hope you have a lovely day. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you again. Hello, group two. Thanks for joining me in the reading. So I've already chosen a few cards for the reading, and I'll quickly go through them. We've got number 6, the Lovers, Healing from the Past, 40 Signs, Queen of Spades, Determined and Resilient, the Ever Unfolding Rose, 19, the Tower, 3, Love, and 21, Coins, Blessings. Now, some of those cards are amazing for this reading because they are great confirmation of this type of reading. You've got the Lovers card, 2 cards relating to the past. We've got this Signs card here with the heart on it and the Love card. I mean, look at that. How amazing, group two. Okay, so what I'm going to do is to give you some insight into the situation that this relates to see if this reading resonates with you. And then I'll be bringing through some messages from Raphael. Okay, so I feel that for this group, this is relating to a past connection, a love connection that you've had. And I feel for some of you, you might have ended the connection rather than the other person. I think that might be the case for a lot of you, because you, although this person might have felt like a soulmate to some of you, you might have got on really well. You might have had good chemistry. You might have had a lot in common. You might have felt really connected to them, but there was something underlying in this connection that did not feel right to you. And where it might have only been a little niggle in the beginning, I think eventually that feeling of something not being right just grew and grew and grew until eventually you felt no other choice other than to do something about it and to end the relationship. For those of you who didn't end the relationship though, I feel as though it's as if destiny stepped in and ended it for you, because it wasn't right for you. And I think that most of you in some way are still holding on to that past relationship because you really loved this person, because there were a lot of good times for you. I think for some of you, this could relate to it being a long-term relationship. For some of you, it might even have been your spouse. For others of you, it might not have been such a long-term relationship, but it certainly felt, very big for you. However long it lasted, it felt like a really important relationship to you. And I feel that for most of you listening, this is still, it's unhealed, it's still in your energy, and it still brings you a lot of sadness if you allow yourself to think of it. So maybe some of you have chosen to shut it out rather than to think about it. But Archangel Raphael is coming in today to say, please open the door to the past. Please open the door to letting that out of your energy, because holding on to it, holding on to the sadness of what happened is taking away the joy that you can experience in the present and your future that's yet to come. So I'm feeling right now just very, very drawn to this yellow energy. I mean, we've got kind of a yellow feeling, kind of a yellow golden feel in some of the cards here. And the yellow, it relates to the sacral chakra, and that can relate to a few things. It can relate to the mind, but it can also relate to positive feelings like joy and upliftment and that kind of thing. And I feel that for some of you listening, you really are lacking in joy. And it may be that some of you are in another connection at the moment, but there's no joy there. It's like it's gone. The joy has gone. It's either that the joy has gone from your current connection, or the joy has gone from your life. Maybe some of you are single at the moment anyway, but you're not tapping into those feelings of joy or contentment. And it's because you've still got this sadness in your heart, group 2. And that's why Raphael is here today to help you to heal this, because you are still holding on to this person in some way, and you still have an attachment to them through a cord. So Archangel Michael often helps with cutting cords, but Raphael can do that as well. So when you feel like you're ready to start facing this and to get yourself into a place where you want to move forward and you actually want to let go and you want to open the door to your emotions, Raphael is saying, just call him in. Just say, Raphael, please help me. That's all you need to do. It's very simple. Just call him in and ask for help, and ask for the cord between you and your past love to be severed, to be healed, to be sealed as well, so that the cord cannot reattach. But I'm going to be honest with you, it might take a few attempts for you to do this, because cord cutting is rarely just a one-off event. It's something that needs to be repeated, because if you still got this person in your energy, whether you still got unprocessed emotions or feelings or thoughts about them, that energy that's still within you, it can keep rejoining to them, keep reforming this cord, so it will keep needing to be cut. Okay, I hope that makes sense to you, group 2. So that's something that you can perform on a regular basis, is the cord cutting, when you're ready to do that. Okay, now one of the reasons why this connection has felt so important to you, or significant to you whenever it took place in your life, is because you and this other person's soul, you've had time together in other lives, in other incarnations or in other realities. You have been together as lovers before. You're in the same soul group, in the same soul family, and you are close when you aren't in the 3D physical realm. So that kind of makes it harder to cut the cords with another soul when that's the situation. It also makes it hard to get over someone and forget them, I mean, the truth is, you don't need to forget them. You don't need to do that, but you do need to find a way to come to terms with the ending itself, because Archangel Raphael is saying that's what's holding you back. It's like you haven't fully closed the door on it. You haven't got to the point of full closure of it, because there's a part of you that still holds on to it, because you found the finality of the ending difficult to accept. And that is what Archangel Raphael can help you with. Okay, so this is going to be a process for you, group 2. It's like going through the process of grief, as if you lose someone from the physical realm. When a relationship comes to an end of someone that you truly love, regardless of whether they physically died or not, there is still a lot of grief to process. And for some of you, Raphael is saying you didn't go through that full grieving process, and it's like you've been stuck in the cycle of it, in kind of almost, he's saying, stuck on repeat. Some of you have been stuck on repeat, feeling as if you've been going round in circles, or as if you're not getting somewhere. Maybe some of you have actually felt stuck in your life in general, and it could relate to this stuck energy inside of you and the fact that you haven't been able to move on properly, fully from this connection. So Raphael is here today to say it is time for you to find a way to move through, to move on from the past, and to find a way to accept that this is what happened. This was not meant to be for your future. And the ending, while it was painful, it was in your best interest. It was for your highest good, because you know deep down in your heart, group 2, that this person wouldn't have been right for you moving into the future. You know, even if they're still in your life in some way, and you maybe still pine for them sometimes, you know that they are not going to be right for you, okay? Because you have evolved and they are evolving, and you have kind of been evolving in different directions, and so you're not really very well suited to each other. And if you spent time together again as a couple, it would be like rubbing each other up the wrong way, because you're no longer in alignment with each other, and it wouldn't feel comfortable. The old feelings might be there, but there would be new feelings coming in that weren't resonating with the old feelings, the old you, the old relationship, and it would just start to feel quite uncomfortable and not right for you. So Archangel Raphael is saying, until you can process this, what's happened, this ending, and go through the stages of grief and be willing to let go and to accept what's happened, until you can go through that process, it's going to be hard for you to move on to actually find new love, and for it to be meaningful, deep and meaningful new love. Because anyone that you meet from now on, or even since then, because you're still holding this other person in your energy, it's like you're holding yourself back from love, and you aren't allowing yourself to fully experience love yet or again. Maybe some of you are comparing other people to this person, but remember, this person that used to be with you, they're not who they used to be anymore. They're different now. So it's almost as if you're living with a ghost from your past in your energy, and it's time to set them free. Okay, group 2. And when you do, I mean, these lovely cards here, this love card and the blessings card, this is what can come in for you, group 2. This is what is waiting for you if you can go through this process of moving through the stages of acceptance and letting go and the grief. So, I mean, this isn't going to be an easy journey, and Raphael is just telling me now that some of you have already been moving through this process, but it isn't quick, is it? Recovering from grief, accepting the end of something, dealing with the closure and the loss. It's not easy, and it isn't quick, and it will take each of you the length of time that it takes you, and it's one of those things that you can't rush. But if you can commit yourself to going through that process, to allowing yourself to accept, to being okay with the end of this, and if you can remind yourself that something better is coming, that can then help you to move on. Find a way that will work for you, group 2, because we each deal with grief and endings and acceptance of loss in our own way, in our own time, in our own space. So be honest with yourself, group 2, about what you need and how you need to deal with this. But Raphael is saying, it is time for you to let go and to move on for the past now. You can't keep holding yourself in stasis anymore. It is time to let this person go out of your energy. And once you do, Raphael is saying you'll receive this feeling of liberation. You will feel renewed in a way, and exciting changes could come in for you. Exciting new chapters, new things can begin, because you are stopping yourself from moving on because you're still holding on to the past. And I think some of you are actually afraid of moving on because you're afraid that letting go means that you're going to forever forget this person, but that isn't the case. Once you actually let go of them, you'll find that the sadness will be replaced by positive feelings and happy memories. You'll be able to remember the good times and remember all the goodness that you had in this connection. And that will then allow you to feel a lot better and a lot lighter. And that will open the door to more uplifting feelings like joy and contentment and happiness. Okay, group 2. I'm going to ask Raphael if there's any more messages he wants to bring. Oh, he's just making me look at this yellow flower again. He's saying your solar plexus does need some attention. Okay. I feel that whatever is going on with each of you in your solar plexus, it's quite a different thing. For you all kind of have these moments where you really, really lack joy in life. But I feel that there are other areas that are a bit out of balance that connect to the solar plexus, and it's going to be different for each of you. So if you resonate with using crystals or colour or sound or whatever it is, use something to help you to balance and heal your solar plexus chakra. And also, I've just said the word, I said it in error, but it wasn't in error, was it? Because nothing ever is. But I said sacral as well instead of solar plexus. The sacral chakra is the one that relates to our one-to-one connections. And for some of you, this is where you've got a cord attached to this other person still. And this is where the cord needs to be cut from. Okay. This is where you've still got this attachment to this other person, is your sacral chakra. If some of you are creative and you've had any creative blocks, or you suffer from that, or you can't get going in that area, that could be why, because you've still got this attachment to the past. It's taking up your energy. It's taking up the space in your energy where you could allow new ideas and inspirations to come in. So this is why Raphael is saying it is time for you to move on, to let go and to open up to new experiences, to new love, to new energy coming in for you, group 2. Okay. And Raphael is just asking me to say before I go, please allow your emotions to come to the surface. Let yourself cry if that's how you feel. Get really, really sad if that's how you need to deal with the grief, Just let it out and feel it. And then let it go and remind yourself that you are moving on to something better and to someone better coming into your life. Okay, group 2, I hope you found that useful. Just before you go, I'd like to remind you I've got the 12-week Psychic Expansion program coming up soon. There's information on my website. I've also got lots of downloads available for e-courses, meditations, some free stuff, some channeled spiritual guidance, various things there. There's a few places left in the We Are Light spiritual community membership group if you're interested in connecting with like-mind, like-heart people. Okay, so check my website for the information. There'll be links below the video. Thanks for listening, group 2. Let me know what you think of the video in the comments. Give me a thumbs up if you liked it, and subscribe if you haven't, please. It will really help me to grow. I hope you have a lovely day, and I will see you again. Hello, group 3. I hope you're doing well today. I've chosen a few of the cards to start the reading off with already. Okay. So what I'm going to do is talk about a current situation for you, or a situation from the past, to see if it resonates with you. And then I will bring in messages from Archangel Raphael to help you. Now, it's interesting. The cards that I've chosen for this reading, which I intuitively chose for all the readings, just randomly, they are very different to the other two readings. The energy is very different that I'm picking up on. In the other two readings, there were cards that connected with the heart or with love, or with couples, that kind of thing. But the energy of this one is so different. And I feel that this is in connection with either to do with your house, your home, or your home business, or a self-employed business, that kind of thing. And the message here, because I'm getting such a strong feeling of creative energy coming through and of getting moving ahead. So there's quite an exciting, uplifting energy. So the message to do with this reading, the situation for you, group 3, is about either your living environment or what you do for a living, okay? And I feel that there is a big change coming in for you. And this is what Archangel Raphael wants to speak to you about. So if you've been thinking about moving, or you've been trying to move house or relocate, or you've been trying to make some changes to do with the home, or if you work from home or you're self-employed or you're thinking of making some changes to do with your work, then this is the reading for you, okay? So I'm going to quickly go through the cards. We've got the Ace of Stars, moving, 33, the Truth, the Jack of Diamonds, free spirit and inspiring, Anna, grandmother of Jesus, 27, the Letter, 29, nudity, and 10, the Door, a new chapter. You've got some very interesting numbers here, I notice. There's an Ace, which is 1, and the 10, that's 1. You've got a Jack, which is 11. 29 is 11, and you've got a 33, so you've got master numbers there. And then you've got 27, a 9, and the 7 there. 7 and 27, 7 and 9 both relate to some kind of an ending. 7 is a physical ending. 29 is a bigger cycle ending kind of thing. And then you've got these two ones. So this is a very strong energy of a cycle completing and something beginning for you in the realm of home environment or work environment. Okay. So it feels like there is a new energy coming in for you. There's something new. There's something wanting to change in your life. Maybe you're wanting to move in a different direction, whether that relates to home or work, or you're kind of moving towards some new projects or new developments, that kind of thing. Okay. It's very exciting. Now, I also get the sense that some of you have been receiving either like divinely inspired ideas or repetitive thoughts that keep telling you to do a particular thing. Or for some of you, if you're quite intuitive, you might have been aware of spirit communicating with you, giving you messages, or you might have been seeing signs. I think some of you might have been seeing white feathers or certain signs that are very positive. But whatever it is, I feel that there is a strong message coming through to you from spirit to say, yes, this energy is coming in for this positive change for you. So I'm going to connect with Archangel Raphael now to find out what it is that Raphael wants to speak to you about, because this isn't a typical energy that I would associate with Raphael, but I'm not going to put Raphael in a box. I mean, the angels, they are high dimension beings and they can work in any area to help us, but they do specialize like us humans do. They do specialize in certain areas, but that doesn't mean that they can't help us with something quite different. So I'm going to just connect and get a sense of the messages coming through. Oh, okay. So Raphael is drawing my attention to certain colours that I've been staring at for a few minutes in the cards. There's greens, and then you've got the red, yellow and orange. So Raphael is telling me it's your lower chakras that this is relating to. And this is why Raphael is coming in, because there's something in your heart that is causing a blockage of the energy flowing through your lower chakras. It's actually been affecting you, and it's been causing a manifestation of problems in your physical life relating to moving, home, business, new developments in those two areas, whatever resonates for you. So Raphael is coming in saying there needs to be some inner work done on those chakras. And it's not just relating to doing the energy work. I mean, that will certainly help to clear the energy of those chakra centers. Raphael is saying this is actually to do with you looking inside of yourself, because at the moment you've got some blocks in place that are to do with how you see things or feel about certain things or think about certain things that are actually the barriers that are stopping this positive new shift that wants to come in for you. It's stopping it from taking place, or it's slowing it down. Not all of you are experiencing a full stop. Some of you have just been experiencing delays. So take that as it resonates. So Raphael is saying, now each of your situations are different as to what needs working on within you. So this advice is going to be general for you. But Raphael is saying if you can spend some time going into the quiet or even going into nature and invoke Raphael, just call out for the name Raphael, can you come to me please and help me? And then ask to be shown what it is that needs attention, that is going on inside of you, that needs to be worked on and shifted or released or healed or whatever it is. Okay. I get the feeling that some of you listening to this reading will already be quite familiar with inner work. So you know what to do with that, but maybe not all of you are. So when something comes up into your mind, whether it's a memory from the past, or if you keep getting something repetitive, something that isn't helpful, then take notice of it, because it's giving you a clue of where you need to put your attention to fix something inside of yourself, basically. If you keep having thoughts about, am I going to be able to do this? Is this going to happen? That's doubt, you're doubting yourself. So that's a big clue. Look at what you're thinking, what you're feeling, whatever it is that's repetitive, that keeps cropping up for you. But see if you can practice a lot of self-awareness, group 3, because it means that to notice what is repetitive within you, it means that you need to pay attention to yourself and observe yourself and really observe what is going on in your thoughts and feelings and emotions and your behaviours. Have a look at what you're doing, how you're being, and look at what keeps coming up. Look at what's repetitive and then get to the bottom of it. That example I've just given, that was doubt. That was very clearly doubt. So let's say, for example, doubt is your enemy here. Ask yourself, why? Why are you doubting yourself? Why are you doubting what's going to happen? Where did that doubt come from? Where did the belief come from that's making you doubt yourself? Okay, so that's an example of how you can look at it. And then it's a matter of really going inside of yourself and, being honest and looking at what you're feeling, what you're going through. What is it that isn't helping you and why is it there? And then see if you can turn it around, because you will be able to recognize what isn't helping you. And then once you put your awareness on that, when you put your attention on something, it starts to lose power over you. It's like when you face a fear, when you acknowledge that the fear is there and you say to yourself, I'm going to face this. I'm not going to let this have control over me anymore. That empowers you, and that fear or whatever it is that's holding you back will start to lose its grip on you, and it will won't be able to control you in the way that it has done. And that is progress being made. And that's what you need to keep doing to move forward, to get to the point of healing and releasing whatever this is that isn't helping you. And then that will help the energy to flow through those lower chakras a lot more easily. Because if you think of the lower chakras, they're the energy centers that connect with our human self and this physical reality. So when you've got blocks there, when it's all unbalanced, when the energy isn't flowing properly, that's when it can be difficult for new positive experiences to flow into your life. Okay, group 3. But Raphael is saying that for some of you, this progress will be quite quick compared to others of you, because some of you have already been working on those energy centers. And as you see those energy centers clearing, as you become aware of them clearing, you're going to notice the new energy coming in. You're going to notice that the energy is going to be flowing more freely, because it could make you feel like you're having a bit of an upgrade, or that you're having like a downpouring of light, or you feel more energetic, more awake, more lively, more positive. You know, all of those are the side effects, the lovely side effects of having energy coming in. Okay. And that's when you'll know that you're making a positive difference, because once you start clearing out these old patterns, that makes space inside of you for something new to come in. Okay. And then you can start making some concrete plans for this new development that you want to implement in your life. If you've been finding it hard to do anything concrete, to be disciplined with anything, or to make plans with anything, it's because of this lack of the energy flow in the lower chakras. So once they start to clear, you might feel quite motivated and invigorated to get started on making these positive changes, on moving towards these goals. Okay, group 3. Now I'm looking at this letter card here. Oh, okay. Raphael's saying this is something to do with your soul contract. Okay. So whatever it is that you're working towards now, whether it connects with home or work, Raphael is saying there's something to do with it that was written in your soul agreement before you came here. So this is something that you are meant to achieve. You know, whatever it is, whether it's relocating, moving house, changes in the home, to do with your business or work, you know, any changes to do with that. This positive, uplifting change is going to be really good for you. And it was something that your soul agreed to before you incarnated here, because it wanted to go through this uplifting experience, because it will bring a lot of positive change into your life, group 3. Okay. So Raphael is here now saying, let's get on with this. Let's make this happen. And they want to help you with that, group 3. So remember to ask for Raphael's help when you want to work through some inner stuff, okay? Now, for some of you, I really am getting this very strong tie to creative energy, you know? So this could manifest in so many different ways, a creative energy. It really can. It can be to do with you manifesting, you know, creating the future you want. So it might be to do with visualizing what you want, visualizing your dreams and goals. It could be to do with being creative itself, with physical creativity, you know, creating things, being creative artistically, that kind of thing. It could be anything. It could even be to do with working on your Kundalini energy, maybe doing Kundalini yoga, or working on anything to do with the Kundalini, because I feel at the moment for a lot of you, the Kundalini energy is quite blocked in the sacral chakra area. And you might have been struggling with anything to do with food, or problems in personal connections, or cravings, addictions, that kind of thing, you know, that sort of thing that can happen from an unbalanced or closed down sacral chakra. So that you'll find, once you start doing this inner work, group 3, that energy will start to shift. And so how you feel about things will start to shift, and you will feel a whole lot better. You see this nudity card here. We've got this lovely figure just feeling so free and light, you know. It's like they're walking on on air even. And I feel that this is the energy coming in for you, group 3, once you have started clearing out your own energy and had a look at what's going on in your thoughts and emotions and beliefs and that kind of thing. And then we've got this number 10, the new chapter, right on the end here. Again, that's what's coming in for you. This new beginning, whatever this is that's on the horizon for you, it's waiting for you. It's there, ready and waiting, but it's waiting for you to make room in your energy and to clear out your have a cleanse of your inner self, because that is what's causing the blockage in the chakras from the heart area downwards. So for some of you, this most likely will relate to past stuff, but it's going to be different for each of you. So as I say, really spend some time observing yourself and noticing everything that you're doing, what you're thinking, what you're feeling, what you are believing, okay? Because that will give you the clues for what you need to look at, what you need to work on. So when you get these negative thoughts, feelings, emotions, beliefs, whatever they are, turn them around. Reprogram your mind with the positive side of them. Okay, so there's lots of ways to reprogram the mind, and there are plenty of resources out there to find ways that will help you, group 3. So go with what works for you, go with what resonates for you, okay? So I hope that's been useful for you. And before you go, I'd like to remind you, I've got my 12-week psychic expansion program coming up soon. There's information on my website about that. I'll leave a link below. There are lots of downloads available and more coming on my website for e-courses. There are free downloads, there are meditations, channeled spiritual guidance. There's quite a few things, and I'm adding to that all the time. And there's also a few places left in the We Are Light spiritual community membership group if you want to connect with like mind, like heart souls. Okay. So thank you for listening, group 3. Let me know what you think of the video in the comments. Give me a thumbs up if you liked it. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. It will help me to grow. Thank you. I hope you have a lovely day, and I'll see you again